Okay, ultimate shapeshifter. It's really done the same way. Now, because we have different layers in all directions, we're pretty much going to use our cube strategies to try to get this to a Rubik 180 and then solve it as such. Now, as we're doing that, we're going to be doing a variety of different kinds of reductions with this. So the first step is, of course, doing our cube solve. So I know that I've done tutorials with this in the past, so not to belabor it too much, we've got the white and blue here. I'm only going to do the corners. I'm ignoring all of this junk in the middle here. I'm moving my whites into position. All right, so I've got all these corners here. Now I'm going to put these in position here. I'm doing 2x2 solve right now. URI. Okay, I'm doing an algorithm to flip all of these guys up. So I'm doing it just like a 2x2. R, U, R, I, U, R. And again, this is not designed to be a full tutorial on this, just a demonstration of the cuboid solve. These are all up, these are in, swap these two, 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, turn the puzzle, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R, and this turns back. All right, so the 2x2 solve is done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to continue the reduction. To continue the reduction, I've got a bunch of layers that I have to deal with, and I'm going to do it the same way that I did with the floppy. So this is the floppy reduction part of the ultimate shapeshifter. The difference now is that I've got multiple layers to reduce, layers that I didn't have before. So with the floppy, all of these layers kind of correlated with just what's before the corners here. I've got extra layers here that I couldn't get to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them down. Let's see, I've got these two that are up and these two that are down. This is at right angles, but what if I moved it over here? So now I've got 1, 2, 3 that's up, so I can move them all down, turn down. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move it like so. Okay, so I've put in a good number of them down. Now I've got this one up, and I've got this one up. So what I want to do is move these opposite each other. So I'm going to bring this down to here. And I'm going to take this, move it opposite this one here. So these two are opposite. And I always try to get my 3x3 solved back. Okay, so you can see that these two are in. Now you see that these two are up as well, but these are bandaged. I can't get access to these because it's bandaged with this side here. So this is not available to me, but these are. So I can move these down by doing a red bull. So that's what I'm going to do. The whole process of the ultimate shapeshifter is I've got an extra layer to unbandage that I didn't have with the brick, and that I didn't have with the floppy. So it's the floppy reduction is a little bit more complicated because I don't have access to these layers because I have bandaging here. I did not have the bandaging here because I didn't shapeshift when I made a 90-degree turn. And because I didn't shapeshift and add an extra layer, I don't have other segments and other edges that I don't have access to. The problem with this is I have edges and pretty soon centers that I'm not going to have access to even if I get it down to a brick form. So I'm going to red bull to bring these two down. 2R, 2B, 2U, L. 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R, 2F, LI, 2B, 2R. Now if this were a floppy, we'd be done. But unfortunately we're not, because I've got these guys here to deal with. And because I had other layers, that every layer had a different segment to it, I'm bandaged here. So this adds that level of complexity that's beyond brick and beyond floppy. Now how am I going to get these down? It's not just a matter of positioning. What I have to do at this point is I have to put these edges in the right place. So how do I do that? Well, this is the fun part of the solve because there's no specific algorithm for it, it's strategy. One strategy is to take two opposite each other that are of the same size, put them opposite each other, and then find the longer ones of the same size and put them opposite each other, and then simply swap them out. So as I look at this, I don't see any long ones that are opposite each other, but I can maybe place that. So if I take this, move it here, now I'm going to double turn this to this side here, so I got these two long ones that are opposite each other. Might as well move that back. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to exchange this with this. Position it over here, exchange these two, and then we move it back. So now these two are placed where they need to be, as are these two. So you can see we're a little closer. We're so close, I can actually move this side. But I can't move this because this one is in. So how am I going to get this back to where it's supposed to be? Well, I don't have any other small ones that are out. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to treat this like it was a cuboid. I'm going to treat this like a domino. I have to get these in the proper place, because as of now they're not. So let's take these, and I've got to get them out of the way. Now maybe there's a couple of steps that I can take first. I've got these two here. I'd love to put another one of these to here because there's just too much bandaging. Am I able to do that? Well, what if I move this down over here and then I made this turn over here? So when I'm doing that, I can now line these all up and I can now put them back. Okay, so now at least that part is done. I've unbandaged that part. What I want to do is I want to get back my 3x3 solve if I can, or my 2x2 solve if I can, putting it in the proper configuration. Move this like so, move this over here, and move this in. So I just reconfigured these guys to get them back where I want them to be. Okay, now, I can't do anything else until I get this back in. I can't hope to move centers in or these centers in until I get these in. I can move these centers in, but this is going to be bandaged over here. So how do I get this back? Well, now that I've taken these out, I can do it just like a cuboid. So once again, I'm going to put these in the same layer. And I'm going to look at, instead of color as the proper corners, I'm going to look at it as shape. So these two are of the right shape. These two are of the right shape. These two are not, and these two are not. I'm going to handle this just like a floppy parity. And if I do it just like a floppy parity, I can flip-flop these guys. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move them opposite each other. So I'm going to flip-flop these two edges here. 2R, U, 2R, U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. So notice I'm using exactly the same concepts. Exactly the same concepts and the same algorithms, I'm just applying them in different ways. I'm just going to do the floppy parity, basically. These two need to flip-flop with each other. So move it down over here, do a red bolt to flip this up. 2R, 2B, 2U, L, 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R, 2F, Li, 2B, 2R. Okay, that flipped that up, so now I'm going to take this piece and knock it out with this, just like this. Do another red bowl so that I'll have a big one up, small one down, just like I have big one up, small one down. 2R, 2B, 2U, L, 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R, 2F, Li, 2B, 2R. I simply move this one up. So now I've got these guys paired and red bull them down.
Don't even blink. Blink and you're dead.
Okay, so now these guys are paired. We can bring this up here, and now we just flip-flop these two to put them in their respective places. 2RU, 2RU, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2RU, 2R, UI, 2R. So there you have it. It's now in its native shape. We've now got this to a Rubik 180, and that's what we want to solve it as. and we see what kind of parities that we have. Now by the end of this, we should have all of the corners still in. So the best way to solve this at this point is, well, we have to kind of deal with the complexity of this. We know that the white is on top, so what do we do first? Well, we can get the centers in, we can get the edges in. My suggestion first is to do this. Get the edges in. And by edges in, I don't mean place them where they're supposed to be. You just pair them up. See if you can pair them up with each other. We're first going to place these because it's going to be easier to put these in. If we put the centers in first, we may end up taking out the centers again when we put the edges in. So with the ultimate shapeshifters, go from the outside in. So as we can see here, these are all paired up. So there's no issues, there's no problems with parity with these guys. So what we could do is we then go out a little bit further and see where things have to go. These two aren't paired up, these two are, these two aren't, and these two are. So I'm going to take this red and orange and place it here where it's supposed to be. So this is 180, 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, and 2F, 2R, 2U. So what we see is all of these are in, all of these are in, this is not, and this is not. So this is basically a floppy parity. So we're going to fix this in the way that we know how. Move them opposite each other. This is already down here. So we do a red bull to bring these two up, but in this layer. 2R, 2B, 2U, L. 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R, 2F, LI, 2B, 2R. So now we know we simply do another 2L, another red bull. Move this in, this moves down, one more red bull, 2B, 2U, L, 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R, 2F, Li, 2B, 2R. So now we've taken the parity out of the edges. We've paired these guys up. These two just need to be flip-flopped. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. So if we did this right, this is now a Rubik's 180 kind of a deal. With these centers here, I need to make these white. Now, when you have a 2x4x6, the first layer, which is the 2x2 layer, you simply place using your lowest layer, which is the 2x2. The next layer, the 4x4, you can place by doing the sliding U technique. But the layer after that, which is 6x6, you can't. You have to do Rubik 180. So sliding U technique, these oranges, yellows rather, this I'll just arbitrarily place. Well, this guy I'll place over here. 2L, move it to the R, 2R. Now I'm not going to bandage anything because it's in the 4x4 area, and that doesn't bandage with anything. And move it in, so this is in. This will come to here. Turn, 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 and turn. We're not messing anything up. Everything's coming in just fine. Turn, 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 turn. Okay, so these are in. Now it's a question of putting in these guys if we can. Now what about these? These can actually be placed by Rubik 180. So these two, this needs to swap with this, turn it over here, and do 180 degree algorithms, the URF algorithm, 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. So that's in. Okay, which leaves this and this. Now how are we going to place these two? Because I need to swap not just one, I need to swap two. So this is a situation where these two need to flip-flop. This is actually a brick parity. It's a brick parity because I can't do a Rubik 180. So why is it not a floppy parity? It's not a floppy parity because there's actually 3 that's out. It looks like there's 2, but there's equivalency with these pieces. So this and this and this all need to be 3 cycled. So that 3 cycle means that I can't solve this as I would a Rubik 180. I have to solve it using the brick parity algorithm. So somewhere within the brick reduction, this got kind of messed up. So I have to take it out of the of its native shape in order to do that. So this is going to be left-sided technique. Make sure these are at the same level. This needs to come here, this to here, and this up to here, and then it'll work. But remember that my U is going to be 2 layers deep. So on the left side technique, I do a 2F, then a UI, 2L, U, 2R, UI, 2L, U, 2R. Do a 2F, and then roll in with another 2L over here. That takes the parity out, do another 2F. Finish it up on the opposite side, 2R, UI, 2L, U, 2R, UI, 2L, U. Do a 2F, 2R, and it's fixed. All these are in. However, it did move the brick parity up to here. So we're going to have to deal with that when the time comes. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and put these guys in. So this and this need to flip-flop. This green and red needs to come over to here. This green and blue rather. So I'm just going to move this over here and flip-flop these two. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U, flip-flop this back. So right now you're seeing both kinds of parity with this puzzle. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. And now flip-flop these two. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. And finally, I'm going to flip-flop these two. Even though there's parity here, I'm still going to flip-flop the majority. 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4. So I'm going to split it down here with the URF, 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, and then go just above all the edges, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. Okay, taking a look at what we have, this is out, and this is out. If 2 are out, then it's a floppy parity. If 3 are out, then it's a brick parity. If 4 are out, then it's not any parity, it's simply a Rubik 180 URF algorithm that needs to happen. So if 4 are out, then you just do the Rubik 180 algorithm. If 3 are out, it's a brick parity. If 2 are out, it's a floppy parity. So you get both with this. So in order to do this one, this is again right-sided. This red and white will come here. This will come to here, and this will come up. If you find that this is on this side, just remember to turn it back. So once again, left-sided version, 2F, UI, 2L, U, 2R, UI, 2L, 2L, U, 2R, 2F. Bring this up here to a 2L, 2F. Finish it up with a 2R, UI, 2L, U, 2R, UI, 2L, U. Finish this up now with a 2F, 2L, and you're done. Ultimate Shapeshifter is done. So this was a review of the different techniques of all the different kinds of cuboids. Remembering that starting off with a 2x2, you've got the dominoes. Dominoes don't have any cuboid type parities. It's a mixture between, these are the dominoes. It's a mixture between odd and even parities to give you this domino form. You then have the shapeshifters, which is solved as a cube to give you the final 2 layers that are solved again like a domino, compared with a brick, which is solved as a domino to bring it to a 180-degree algorithm form, possibly getting a brick parity. To the floppies, which is solved like a cube to get to a domino form, dealing with floppy parities should they occur, to the ultimate shapeshifters, which has a little bit of both. Solved as a cube in order to do a 180-degree form by doing floppy parities and brick parities to get it to the solution. And that is the basic organization that we have that we're going to be dealing with. Get this into position here. I might as well put it in a way that makes sense. This goes here, this can go like so, this can go like so, and this can go like so. Okay, so that is the most basic form of cuboids in the most basic style of, in the smallest of layers. But what if we replace the 2-layer version of all of the cuboids with the 3-layered versions? With the 3-layered version, it gets a little bit more complicated, but the solve strategy is the same. What we're going to do next is we're going to go through the same thing, but with the 3-layered versions, to show that you really solve them exactly the same way. And after we hit that, we're going to go beyond as we deal with each type of cuboid, with each type of solve strategy, and each kind of reduction and all the parities that happen. And you'll see how the increasing layers does not increase the complexity of the solve, just the amount of effort and the time that's involved. So stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.